Welcome to the William Factory Small Business Incubator Local to Global webinar series. This webinar is how to automate a flow of new customers. And my name is Sunday Tollefson. I help people grow into executives in their corporate careers and in their business endeavors. And I like to say, hello, CEO, because I know that you are a CEO spinning a lot of plates. This webinar is mostly useful for you if you are ready to scale your business and you want to do less administrative work building your business. I understand that you know your customer's profile, you are ready to scale, and you already have a great product or service and proof of concept. So let's move on. By the end of this webinar, you will understand common struggles small business owners face during periods of growth. You'll understand why your energy is best used for high-value activities. You'll understand how creating and automating a lead magnet can relieve you. You'll know how to design, install, and automate your lead magnet quiz, hint, foreshadowing. You'll learn how to segment data provided during lead magnet opt-in process in order to target your promotions to your specific audiences. What will change as you scale? A lot, but not you. So, your energy is best dedicated to driving the vision of your business, not tending to the gears of your business. Optimize your time by shifting your energy toward that vision and the growth that you see and away from customer acquisition, which is one of the gears that takes a lot of time, typically. Local business owners often have developed relationships in their communities, and this is part of their habit and expectation that this is part of the way they derive new business. Shifting to global means the brand rather than the person is the entity that must create and nurture new relationships. You'll need to carve out time for managing the complexities of the international market, like new languages, new laws, regulations, cultural norms. Customer or client acquisition is often built on personal relationships, but that must shift. You are wanting to accelerate growth and scale your business to other countries, but there's a major risk in spending too much time manually on the front end of your customer journey. You could find you don't have enough time for these complexities and stall your growth and your successful entry into your new market. So you need a solution that is intriguing to prospects, that sells itself, that provides value to the lead, that provides data for your business, that comprises a good portion of that early customer journey, is automated or automatable, builds brand loyalty with your leads, allows you to contact those prospects after they take the quiz. And there is one thing that does all of these things. One lead magnet. It's a quiz. The solution is a quiz, an interactive lead magnet that reaches anywhere there is, frees up your time to perform more profitable activities within your business. Customers want more, it can be fully automated, and it can be monetized. And I don't go into the monetization piece here, but I have seen some quizzes that I have taken in which I take the initial quiz, I receive the initial result, and then if I want an in-depth report or something, I can pay $9 or $19 or $27 or some nominal fee. And that's just really the seller testing if I'm willing to open my wallet and how quickly. So keep that in mind, because I don't mention that again in this presentation, but it is a good way to create some revenue and find out who is interested in paying you, because some people will never pay you anything, right? Okay. So Michael's Ties was the name of the business. They were sold at several domestic retailers. After a few years, Michael expanded his distribution model to include international opportunities. Michael used quiz lead magnets to grow brand recognition and product demand in new key markets. Michael's quiz lead magnet provided him a raving audience of fresh new brand ambassadors whom he nurtured with content, entertainment, rewards, and promotions. Michael's Ties then maximized its use of free customer data by segmenting its messaging based on user data. What categories would you like to divide your prospects, leads, and clients into? Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. You can create, install, deploy, automate, and monetize a quiz as quickly as today. It can be done that fast. It does take a little bit of time to dedicate, but I'll walk you through this and you can make your mind up there. In the next slides, you'll learn how to create an effective quiz lead magnet, one that will stand the test of time for you. We will move quickly, so you may want to set aside time later to work on each section. Remember that as we work through this, your leads will become clients, so you're going to want to divide them up into categories that'll benefit your marketing and promotion efforts through several steps of their customer journey with you. So step 1, there are 6 steps that I walk you through. Step 1 is creating categories or buckets for your customers. These will be the final buckets that they'll fall into at the end of the quiz. So consider the categories that work best for you to sort your customers. For example, your cookie shop might ask about favorite cookie types or textures or additions or toppings or who knows what. So your quiz would offer results that center on popular cookies, such as chocolate chip, oatmeal, peanut butter, shortbread, snickerdoodles. I was asked to add, the name has just escaped me. We won't dwell on it. So once you learn this information, you could do even the smallest things, such as including their favorite type of cookie on the header of your frequent newsletter instead of another cookie that you know that is not their favorite. And just this one change can increase the amount of time that they will spend reading your newsletter, see your promotions, and build the brand loyalty with you. Maybe you would want to offer them a free cookie of that type when they come in on their birthday, right? There's a lot of opportunities just from that one piece of information tied with their email, right? Okay, so more tips for as you're naming your categories. You want to describe them to yourself to help you understand how they fit into your their customer journey and how they want to consume your product or service. So describe them using words that make them feel good so that they are going to want to share their results with their community, who is also probably going to be your target audience. You want to name them something positive and clever so they feel special and so they identify with this name. Yeah. The cookie example was simple, but a more robust quiz can narrow down leads by how close they are to buying. Have you ever looked at buying a car and automatically you're asked, are you looking to buy a car in the next week, month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? Same idea. When they know when you're ready to buy, that helps them to market to you the right way. Or how you like to be sold. Do you like to get some text messages? Do you only like emails? Do you want paper in the mail? Everybody's different, and when you know that about your customer, that'll help you meet them where they want to be met and be sold to. Okay, step 2 is determining what differentiates each of these types, each of these categories from one another, and then converting those differentiators into quiz questions. So identify what differentiates your customers from one another. This might be experience level, industry, familiarity, problems they're facing, words or lingo they might tend to use, different types of journeys, their stage of their journey, their maturity level, or their attitude, their business size, or their problem size. And I have some examples. If you could ask someone to describe their responsibility level with regard to a restaurant if you're trying to help people to manage their restaurants profitably. You could suggest people help you understand their biggest struggle with learning the language that they're trying to learn right now. So you want to frame these differentiation categories into quiz questions, like I said. Describe your responsibility level with regard to your restaurant. Step 3 is choosing the answers to your differentiator questions. Make sure that there's an answer for absolutely everyone who might take your quiz. For example, how long have you been pursuing a fitness goal? And your options should span basically all of time. So a good example is 0 to 1 month, 2 to 4 months, 5 to 12 months, 1 to 3 years, 4 years, or more. So an example based on the last slide's question, when I said describe your responsibility level with regard to your restaurant. In this case, you could offer these 5: owned and operated for 10 plus years, owned and operated for 5 to 10 years, owned and operated for fewer than 5 years, thinking about buying or hoping to buy a restaurant in the near future, or I'm just a restaurant general manager, I'm not an owner, right? So that's the 5 types of people that might be taking your quiz based on where you're sending it out there. For the example with the languages, you might say, what are your biggest struggles with learning the new language that you're learning? Maybe you're teaching Italian and you're moving to a new country where you're teaching them Italian and you want to know their biggest struggle. Your quiz would say, offer these 5 different options: reading and comprehension, writing and composing, spelling and special characters, listening and understanding, speaking and accent. So one of those 5 is going to be the person's top pain point or challenge in learning the language. Okay. Step 4 is imagery. So in order to keep your quiz takers interested in your quiz, it's really important that you include good images. I mean, there's a reason I have an image on every slide here for you. I want you to, as you're taking in the information, in the words that you're reading, in the voice that you're hearing, I want you to also see in the image a person who is an ordinary person who's driving a business, who has goals, who has ideas, and who is enjoying this webinar along with you. So when you're picking pictures for your quiz, you want to make sure that they take this quiz taker on some type of journey. You'll see my quiz in a little bit, and you'll see that I have pictures of people that I think they might see themselves in as they're going through the quiz. Sometimes I want them to not see themselves, but just to see a different set of options that they need to compare in terms of maybe size or style. I use canva.com for all of my graphics and for building my, everything. Actually, what you're watching is Canva as well. So it's my favorite. And they have, the basic edition is perfectly fine for your needs. And they have layers of paid plans if you want to look into that, but their free version is just great. Okay. Step 5 is to load your content into a quiz framework and set it up. So that includes the questions that you made, or the buckets, the answers that you made where you had multiple options, the images that you developed for the questions, and the categories, those last buckets. All that goes into your quiz software. I use Try Interact. There are 4 or 5 good ones. You could also try Google Forms if you wanted. Try Interact has some abilities that I need and want, and you probably are going to need and want as you're scaling your business as well. And then you're also in that software going to want to map the answers to the final results categories as appropriate. I'll walk you through that, okay? And then, of course, you're going to have to set up your landing pages, any automations between your quiz software, your email service provider, or in any other mechanisms that you want working in that setup. Step 6. This is the nurture process. You want to be sure to develop really good greeting messages for your results screens for the landing pages, and you want compelling results content. Perhaps you want a PDF extra or bonus or something to give them as a souvenir of sorts of their visit with you. And then also, of course, you want a series of follow-up emails. This is called a nurture sequence with calls to action. Calls to action keep your new prospects engaged, and that keeps them receiving tons of value. We want your prospects engaging with your emails because we want those emails to be coming into their inbox and not into their spam box. And the more people interact with your email, if they open it, if they click on something, if they reply, the email service providers know, and they know it's not spam, and they're more likely to always elevate emails from you in all of the email inboxes into the inbox, not the spam. So you really want them to develop the habit of opening the email and seeing what's inside for them. How are they going to know about your quiz? Well, you're going to share that quiz everywhere all the time. Post the quiz and schedule it on repeat loop to appear in all of your social media. Put it in all of your headers, in all of your auto signatures. Put it in all of your blogs, in all of your ads. Mention it in all of your podcasts. Put it on your business cards. It should be in your sales pages, inside all of your other promotions. You need cross promotion for your own brand, in all of your freebies, any other ones, in all of your lead magnets, and in all of your products and services as well. Your quiz should be everywhere and more. And you can probably drop some money into some ads engines, into Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever you're using to drive that quiz and to let people know it exists. So once you have this data from the quiz takers, you can generate engagement because they've given you personal information about them, so you can target them better with more personalized information that's going to interest them. It's going to be based on their interests, their pain points, their desires, their journey, their stuck points, if you will, and they want you to come solve their problems, and you're here to do exactly that, right? So here are some examples that I made. If they're new to your industry, you could invite them to a Secrets of blank your industry webinar just for your guests. If they're struggling with a specific problem, you could offer them a freebie that's how to solve this problem. Maybe they only mentioned that in one answer of one question, but if you know that, then you can offer that as a further way to engage them. If they're looking for support and feeling lonely, invite them to join your group and attend the welcome webinar. If they're new in a homeowners association, you can walk them through common mistakes for HOA boards. If they started an online store selling lawn care equipment, you could offer them a freebie about seasonality, managing seasonality with their business, services to offer in the off season, or even equipment maintenance. If they're looking to grow their own business, you can offer them a free roadmap to growing their business or their practice. Just some examples for you. Okay, now I'll show you my quiz, walk you through what it looks like and how I got there. That is the image. I made that entirely on Canva for free. And I have a video that I'll show you, and it just shows someone taking the quiz. We'll do that and I'll explain to you. Okay, so the first question is just one picture of some women working at a table. It's an easy question. So you want to start with an easy question. Notice I've chosen a theme of colored pencils here. 5 different perspectives, really. just for visual interest. A slightly easy question with just one picture. A little bit more difficult question with one picture again, and I'm always hoping that when my quiz taker is watching this, they're going to see someone and they think, oh, she looks like me, and they're going to identify with that person. This is a little deeper of a question with a little deeper answers. Again, your answers don't have to be this long. I want people thinking before they get to mine. The tennis ball theme here. Here's an office plants theme. And we end with something very simple. And then they can enter their name and their email, and they can see their results immediately on the next screen. So one of the categories that as a quiz taker you could fall into is called the Phenom. And so here on this landing page, they can see, and again, I developed all of this on Canva. They can see what their result is, a little bit about it, and then they can get the full report in their email inbox. And they're invited to share their results. Many have shared their results actually on social, resulting in even more leads in my database. So be sure and don't miss that opportunity. So then I went in, I opened the Try Interact software that I use, and I wanted to show you what that looks like. So on the left is the navigation bar. That's where I added the questions and the answers and the results options. So this was the first question that you're looking at here. Towards the bottom, it says Edit Result Correlations. It's like a light reddish oval button. So if we clicked on that, we would get this to show us how to edit correlations, or I call it mapping. It seems easier for me. So that's just the place where you take the individual result and you map it to one or more of the end results or the buckets or categories. Now you don't have to do any of the math with this. This program calculates it all out and determines where that person falls in that bucket based on the answers that they gave in your quiz. It happens like magic, which is nice. Many software products for quizzes provide you with great insights regarding your quiz performance and results. I use this information here to change some of my answers in my questions that I saw they were making up nearly half, and that wasn't right. So I needed it to probably be around between a quarter and a third. So I did make some adjustments to some of the answer mapping. And that's because I had this great result here, and I was able to pair that with my knowledge of my customer, right? And you can do the same thing. So when you see something is off, you can just tweak it, come back in a month and see if it's working better the way you expect it to. And then the next, 100, 200, 1,000, whatever people who take your quiz, have the better version. So it gets better and better. Let me go back to that. And this one I had selected, what is the conversion rate from starts, not views, to completions, and that was 66%. So, which makes me very happy. Okay. I can also select the analytics, and there's a red button there, create download file, and I can download all of the answers from all of the people. And I think I have a premium level plan, maybe $17 a month. I think the free one, you don't get the details of their questions, but if you're ramping up into global, you're going to want to invest in getting all that data, right? Okay, so if I clicked on that red bubble, this is what I get. Here's a snapshot of some of my data from when I first launched my quiz. So if you're a data nerd, you'll love this CSV that you can get. But as you can see, we can target people who have answered a certain question with a certain answer. So if you're the cookie shop owner and you see an indication that a person's biggest struggle with buying baked goods is the low variety of gluten-free options, You need to send that person messages when you have a new gluten-free cookie available. You need to send that person gluten-free recipes. You need to send them coupons just for gluten-free goods, or some, first run at, the Friday gluten-free bagels. They get in 15 minutes before everyone else. They get a special pass or something like that. There's so much that you can do with these special little pieces of information that you know about people. It's really incredibly beneficial for your business. Excuse me. You can opt to receive an email or a text message anytime a new lead completes your quiz. I do that, and I love it because I get a text message on my phone that tells me I have someone new to get to know. So there's some very cool automations that you can do with having this quiz. If you're going to be getting thousands of quiz results, you obviously don't want that. You will need a mail service provider like MailChimp to segment your emails among your leads, and they'll have to tag each person in your database to understand how they answered each question, which is fine. You can set that up. I use Kajabi for this purpose. Kajabi uses the quiz data from Interact to tag my leads, and that's where I create my segmented communications to target customers with the content they're most interested in. I'm sorry. I use Zapier for some automations. This is another thing that's really interesting is the analytics for my Kajabi account. I can see for the last 30 days what the activity has been for these quiz results, and I can see how many people have opened their quiz result email. I can even drill down one more level and see who has opened, who has clicked on the link inside of it, and of course who is unsubscribed. So it's really good information, especially if you have data nerds. Also, if you have a virtual assistant, this person could provide you with a weekly report or dashboard, plus any ideas of how you might pivot. If they're looking at the data, they might see something that you hadn't seen before. Okay, so in this webinar, you learned how to understand common struggles that small business owners face when they're growing internationally. You learned to understand why your energy is best used for high-value activities, vision-oriented rather than operations-oriented. You now know how creating and automating a lead magnet can relieve you of some of your work and stress. You can design, install, automate, and monetize, if you like, your lead magnet quiz. You have heard me talk about segmenting data that was provided during the lead magnet opt-in process to target promotions to certain audiences. And further, if you want to send them an email and ask them a simple question and have them hit a yes or no button that takes them, to either a yes screen or a no screen, that's another piece of information that you have on them to understand, do you feed your doggy cookies? Yes or no? Well, now you have another market that you can target to and communicate to, right? So the layers of this are very exciting, especially if you're kind of a data and analytics geek. So remember, select categories for your leads, create names for the categories and descriptions, then identify the differentiators between these types of leads and convert those into questions, create answers to all those questions, create images for each question, populate the quiz software with all that stuff above, establish an email nurture sequence, and then optimize your opt-in data with all of your future promotions. There we go. Thank you for attending this webinar on growing your business from local to global. I would love to connect with you. I'm on LinkedIn as Sunday Tollefson, one word, so my profile is right there. I am the only Sunday Tollefson in LinkedIn. Can you believe that? So I'm easy to find. And my picture is probably the same one from slide 2, right there. That's the picture you'll see. And Sunday Tollefson, there you go. There's also not many Sundays in LinkedIn. So Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have questions or if you want to chat. I am happy to open up some time on my calendar for you. Bye.